And welcome back, YouTube. Walking back from Circle K. I know I have such an exciting life, don't I? Hey, this is kind of neat. Welcome to Old Crosscut Canal Park, established 1995. So, yeah, like I said, I remember it being a big gash when I started as a cab driver in 1992. So, yeah, it looks like it was finished in 95. Open 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Wow, so I'm in a closed park. Yeah, I don't think the police will be harassing me. And to be honest, I mean, can you really close? I mean, I get the concept of maybe no loitering in the park, but this is pretty substantial pedestrian infrastructure here. Even though it doesn't drain very well. Wish they'd do something about that. Oh, I'm getting all yucky and wet. Damn it. Yeah, this bike route does not drain very well in some places, which is pretty ironic when you consider that there's a major drainage culvert directly underneath it. Oh, wow, this is neat. And that's an old it's kind of why this intersection is as screwy as it is, the intersection of 48th Street and Thomas. Yeah, there's a fire department there. It's been there for a long time. Looks like they're just coming into the station. It's got the lights on just to make people stop while they back in. Anyway, not the most interesting thing, but hey, let's watch that. Yeah, that intersection is it's kind of a complicated thing because the fire station for this region is right here at 47th Drive, and there's not a light at 47th Drive. 47th Drive hits Thomas, and no left turn, right turn only. And if you're going westbound on Thomas, there's signs that say no left turn onto 47th Drive, although sometimes people do it. And I think it's got a thing saying except emergency vehicles, because obviously that's where the fire truck needs to go back to. And that makes a whole lot more sense than, driving through the residential neighborhood and around the block to get to it. But yeah, there's no traffic light there, but then they've got the hash marks in the road on Thomas. Wow, and everything went crazy out of focus. I get the hash marks in the road. There we go. Hash marks in the road on Thomas at 47th Drive saying stop here on red. And a really large amount of people don't. A lot of people just roll right up to 48th Street where the light is. It's honestly, it's not marked very well. The sign is only on the right side of the street. So if there's even an SUV in the right lane stopped where they're supposed to be stopped, if you're in the middle lane or the left lane, and there's 3 lanes, well, 4 if you count the left turn lane that starts there, 3 other lanes going forward that should stop at that point. But yeah, if there's an SUV in the right lane that's already stopped, those other vehicles can't see the sign that says just stop there for the red. And while it is a small block, it is a block before 48th Street. For me, what's always awkward is when I come, being that I live right here, since I generally park in the alley, I'm not coming off Oak a whole lot, but it's kind of awkward for me sometimes when I'm going up 47th Place, and obviously I'm turning right because it says no left turn on Thomas. And if I was going the other direction on Thomas, of course I'd go up 46, not 47th Place. But, sometimes when I'm going into Scottsdale, I'll be going that way. And the light will be red for Thomas, and there'll be vehicles stopped at the line where they're supposed to. And it's weird, like I've got a stop sign. And there's no sign that says not to enter the intersection. There's nothing. It's just a stop sign and a sign that says no left turn. So it always is awkward for me. It's like, well, should I wait here for the light to change? Should I just go? And generally speaking, what I always do is I just you know, the vehicles are stopped on my left, I stop, and then I turn right and I go, and then I stop at the light. And I don't know, I mean, if I ever get a traffic ticket for that, it would be fun to raise it to the judge, take a bunch of pictures and bring it in the judge and be like, Your Honor, this intersection is really awkward and confusing. Can we do something about this? Do you have the authority to tell City of Phoenix to make this less of a clusterfuck? I'm walking over to 47th Place just for GP. There's no sidewalk in 47th Place. So, kind of wish there was. I'm of the opinion there should be sidewalks on every side of every street. But some streets just don't have them. And from what I've seen, you know, watching a lot of videos about, just watching videos in general on YouTube, I've noticed a lot of towns and cities have even less sidewalks than Phoenix does. So, yeah, could be a whole lot worse. Anyway, yeah, I usually just turn right at the stop sign and then stop at the light and just wait for it to turn green. I mean, I understand the whole purpose of the no stopping in that box is for if a fire truck comes out to be able to not be pinned in by traffic and be able to get to the fire where they need to go. I figure as long as I'm the only one that comes out and I'm stopped there, they can go around me just fine. So, anyway. These little crossings are kind of odd. There's one at Oak and there's one, I think this is Virginia. I should look. I should just know that. I shouldn't have to think that. I should know that. Ha, it is. Virginia Avenue. It's so dark, can't really read the street sign, but yeah, Virginia Avenue, which is, as I mentioned before, every street kind of has a 100 block and a place within the grid in Phoenix. And I forget the number of Virginia offhand, but Virginia is always a quarter mile south of Thomas, and consequently in a lot of areas, a lot of neighborhoods, it's a through street. Not so much in this neighborhood, it just goes from 47th Place to 46th Street, but there are other places of Phoenix where you can go miles on Virginia, and while you wouldn't want to really do it in a car because it's, you know, residential, 25 miles per hour, a lot of stop signs at intersections that you're not going to get across very easily, it's a good route to take if you're on a bike or you're on a scooter. Like I watch a lot of videos on YouTube just talking about, you know, walkability of cities and bikeability of cities, and oh well, it's just terrible, you can't function in a car, you have to have a, you know, it's just, these cities are impossible to bike in, these cities are impossible to bike in. And I often hear Phoenix mentioned as a city that's impossible to bike in, and usually their justification, you know, their reason for saying that is so many of the major streets are wide and have a lot of lanes and people driving 45, 50 miles per hour on them and no bike lane. And that's true. Yeah, Thomas is not a safe road to bike on. It's really not. But what they don't seem to take into account when they say that is that you go 1/4 mile south of Thomas to Virginia, and Virginia is absolutely fabulous to bike on. And I've gone across town on a bike. I used to be a really avid cyclist back in the early 90s. When I was young and fit, I used to ride about 40 miles a day, every day, just for the hell of it, put on my headphones and ride. You know, maybe I should get back in the habit of doing that. Especially now that it's starting to cool off a little bit. And I just got that lovely new Discman. CD Walkman. But yeah, there's what they don't really mention, and mind you, I mean, I was biking before there were really any bike lanes anywhere. But the way the street system is laid out here, there are a lot of streets that are not conducive to riding a long distance, driving a long distance in a car, that are fabulous if you're in a bike. They go through. I mean, yeah, you got to stop at major intersections, but I mean, you should be stopping at major intersections on a bike anyway. But the way that traffic lights are timed, like if you're going across town on Virginia, like it doesn't cross 44th. It doesn't, is it 46th? It doesn't cross 44th, but I think it starts back up at 42nd Street. And I might be wrong. I'm not looking at a map. I'm just kind of going from memory. But I think Virginia, if you get on it at 42nd Street, you can go west all the way to, I believe, all the way to the 51 freeway. Trying to think if there's a canal that cuts across there. There is. Yeah, you can pretty much take it all the way to the, I forget the name of the canal. I think it's the Grand Canal. In fact, if memory serves, it connects real nicely to the Grand Canal bike route. But yeah, that was a good road for biking in the early 90s, long before anybody really cared about designating things as bike routes. And no, it's not designated as a bike route. It doesn't have signs on it that say it's a bike route. But if you utilize a little common sense while riding a bike, you'll find there's a lot of roads like that in Phoenix that are great for getting you across town, that aren't designated as bike routes, that will get you far. Not the least of which is Oak Street, which I'm just about back to. And it's kind of neat, when they covered up the Crosscut Canal, the old Crosscut Canal, and made the park out of it. It's kind of interesting. This is the other cross, which I just walked across a little bit ago. Yeah, there's one of these which I shown on the video a little bit at Virginia, and there's one here at Oak. And I don't know, I think it's a little obnoxious the way they made it, because it's a little extra walking and it's a little awkward when you're on a bike, but they did this because of the drainage. Basically, you've got this ridge here, which also got a cement barrier that runs the length of it, to stop everything that floods into the canal drainage from going into the neighborhood. And now that I'm here, I'm not 100% sure like how the neighborhood drains. If those streets, I think those streets actually will drain towards 46th, as opposed to draining into the old canal here. Anyway, yeah, Oak is another street that's exceptionally functional if you're on a bicycle. And some of it is actually designated as bike route. And some of it does have bike lanes, but a lot of it doesn't. But like right here, even though Oak doesn't cross from 47th Place to 48th Street, got this path that I'm on here, which take you across to the old Crosscut Canal Greenbelt bike route that I just walked up to Circle K. And I do wish they made this a little more direct, because when you're on a bike or a scooter, it's kind of awkward doing this back and forth stuff. But yeah, there's a path here. Oops, there's the path. Like there's another sign for the park there. 48th Street, Indian School to McDowell. So yeah, it's two miles. That's a 2 mile distance of that bike path in Greenbelt. Anyway, yeah, so you got this path here, a little overgrown right there. And I don't really like the way it dumps into the street here. You got a ramp there, but yeah, there's no crosswalk or anything. You kind of got to just keep your head on a swivel and watch for cars, but there's not ever too much traffic on 48th Street. But that brings you over here to Oak Street, which goes eastbound from 48th Street. As you can see, there's a red light off in the distance. And this is something I should do it in the daytime. It's a video I should make in the daytime. But from here, it goes through all the way into Scottsdale, past 64th Street, along the northern edge of Papago Park. and it's quite the thoroughfare. But it's really, really decent for bikes. It does get narrower once you get into, actually once you get on the other side of 52nd Street. And while there's not actual dedicated bike lanes over there, and you do occasionally get the asshole in a car that doesn't want to give someone on a scooter or a bicycle space. It's generally a fine way, fine route to take on a bike. And there's never too much car traffic on it to mess with you when you're on a bike. And then for cars, it doesn't go, it just goes into I forget the name of the neighborhood. I think it's called Highview. Yeah, there's a residential neighborhood that you cross into when you cross 64th Street on Oak that goes up to the canal. And actually, that is the Crosscut Canal over there. Goes to the Crosscut Canal. And then while you can't drive across it, at Oak Street, there is a bridge for bikes and pedestrians and scooters to cross the Crosscut Canal, and there's also really nice bike routes along the Crosscut Canal. So one of these days I really do want to make some videos, because I just see so many videos talking about, like on the channel, not just bikes. I mentioned that channel a few vlogs ago about how he did a video just talking about how awful it was to be in Houston without a car. And I've never really spent much time in Houston. I spent about a week there with my daughter, and I didn't have a car. I had an electric scooter. So yeah, definitely got a different experience with that. But I was staying in a hotel right in the heart of downtown, and I never got far away from downtown. And Houston, much like Phoenix, is very spread out. So I only got to see a really small portion of it. But the area where I was in, I actually found it very scooter friendly. There were some, and very pedestrian friendly as well. So, but yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to ride a bike from, say, there to Katy. That's just too damn far. It doesn't even matter what kind of infrastructure it is. It's just too damn far. And same thing with Phoenix. I mean, sure, you could ride a bike from Apache Junction to Surprise, but why the hell would you want to? That's far. That's really far. I mean, granted, I used to do that stuff when I was young because I was really, really into cycling. I used to regularly ride from Scottsdale to the Metro Center area. But, that's not a really sensible form of transportation to go that far. It's just not. But anyway, yeah, Oak. At this point, Oak gets really wide. And this is what I was saying. It's like extra, extra wide from like right here. It's kind of weird how the property easement is. Like what is dead center of the road behind me right here becomes the edge of the road. Because that piece of property on, that's how far it goes. Whereas from right here, and that's where the sidewalk ends, yeah, the road gets twice as wide. And you got to wonder what the plans were, when they initially made this road so wide. My guess is they were probably trying to make it a thoroughfare all the way to Scottsdale or whatever. But as is now, it doesn't cross the old Canal Park, and I'm sure there's no plans to do it, which I appreciate. Living in this neighborhood, I used to have, a very small child that likes to play in the front yard, and it's kind of nice to know that there's not major amounts of through traffic on this road, because there could be. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. This video ended up being a whole lot longer than I expected it to be, but always fun to get my thoughts out about these sorts of things. Judging from my view count, somebody enjoys it, so thanks for watching, and of course there will be more later.